Welcome to the Ignorance is No Excuse podcast. And your host tonight is Honeybee. Hi, Honeybee.
Hi, welcome to the show. This is an exciting night for me. Can you hear me, everybody?
Yes.
All right, great. So it's Mother's Day weekend, and we're going to celebrate that by having me host the podcast this week, because in honor of mothers, I am honoring mothers. I'm a mother, a grandmother, and we're also getting used to having me host and help with the Zoom calls as well, because I'm going to be hosting out in Oregon, as you all know. I am Sativa Cross West Division out here in Portland, Oregon, and I'm the co-host with Lefty Grimes. So thank you for joining the show, everyone. Can everyone just do a little quick introduction of themselves? And Chad, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Chad, disabled veteran from Maryland. I'm shy.
No, thank you for joining our show, and we are so happy to have you here. We also have Michael. Tell us what state you're from.
I'm from Massachusetts. Sorry, I'm a little hoarse. Clear my throat. I should have grabbed some water.
That's okay.
Yeah, I host the Young Jerks. I've been involved in cannabis reform for 20 years. We're a podcast live stream. Lately, our big claim to fame is True Leaf coverage, and specifically like the worker rights, labor issues. I'm pro cannabis, but I feel like the industry sucks mostly. We're trying to make it better in Massachusetts and beyond, and we're starting.
And that's why we're here, because
Yeah, and we're starting to work with even non-cannabis people too. So we're excited. Like, there's a lot happening. We just had an event last weekend. The first ever Cannabis Workers Awards. We had Shannon O'Brien, the chair of the CCC, on the week before on my show, and she's talking about doing a lot for workers too. So we're kind of excited about what's happening, and hopefully we see a lot more of that.
Right. It's so exciting to see all the different things that are happening in the different states. And we get it firsthand right here. And we are broadcasting worldwide. We're focusing nationwide right now, but we are really long-term working worldwide. We do have a lot of countries that we do touch. And it's really cool to see, when you go look at the analytics and see the different countries that we're actually affecting. And, we're affecting over 673 cities in the United States. We are making a difference. And Lefty and I have been working really hard. Lefty has been at this a lot longer than I have. And, has been paving the way for all of this. And, I really respect him for all that he does. And he really has a gift that not everyone can do, because, he's not getting paid for this. And this takes up all his time. And, he really has a big heart to give back this much. And so when I saw him several years ago, he was doing a campaign for seizures. And my son, Michael Dillon, passed away in 2015 from the effects of having a seizure. So he hit his head one too many times and he didn't make it. But, we grew cannabis for him. We made Rick Simpson oil for him, and that was the only thing that extended his life and had very little side effects. And also, it was the the drug that he could take the longest, because all the pharmaceuticals with epilepsy, you take them for a certain amount of time and then they don't work anymore. Then you got to start over again. And it's very unfortunate, because when it doesn't work, what that means is that your child gets hurt and you have to worry about them and they can't live a normal life. And it's very frustrating, and it's very hard on the child that has this, or any person. I'm just talking about my child. So it was very hard for him. And so cannabis was the only thing that really helped. So since that was the thing that helped him the most and helped us to not suffer as much, I am here to help other families and other people with seizures. Let them know that it helps, it works, and this is how you do it. This is how you find people to help you with that. And it helps little babies and it helps all ages. And so I'm so excited to help him with that. And that's how I started. And then it just keeps on adding. We just keep on finding more and more things that are just working, because this cannabis works. It works. It just works. And so I am Honeybee Thomas, based out of Portland, Oregon. I am the Sativa Cross West Division. I will be at my state capital in Salem, Oregon, with Paul Stanford and a whole bunch of other people. So I see that someone else came on, and I wonder if they're going to say hi. Larry.
Hello,
Hi. Tell us what state you're from.
I'm from Maryland, and basically I'm a medical patient and I do work in the industry, and there's a lot of stuff that, I feel us patients could benefit better with proper medicine. And some dispensaries in my state are not handicap accessible. And it's kind of weird that, we're a medical state, and it's not just the dispensaries. A lot of medical offices, when they first opened, weren't handicap accessible. And
Mhm.
basically the whole state knows stuff isn't right, and people just kind of like wash it under the table too much. And Maryland is just gonna come out with rec soon, and it's just really corrupt. And I think the people need change, and the patients actually need proper medicine and not mold in the flower.
Right. So has any of you guys, any of you guys going to be at your state capitol?
Possibly.
I'm planning on coming soon. We
You
just
what?
passed, passed a law in Maryland where they can administer nurses at the school to the students. And Johns Hopkins Hospital is going to allow edibles and RSO to be administered inside the hospital. So they're still working on everything, but we'll be able to grow also July 1st.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
excited about July 1st also.
Yeah, here in Maryland, patients can grow 4 plants. Rec people can grow 2.
I used to actually live in DC, and I wish they would at least let us medical patients grow at least like 12 plants to like support ourselves. But I feel like they want to make the money off of us patients, as they always have.
And there's a
Right.
CBD store down here where I live that is now going to be a grow store that will sell the plants and everything. And it's actually part of a dispensary, but it's not at the same location.
Uh-huh.
But they'll be selling plants, which is awesome.
They sell clones there?
Yeah, they will sometime in July.
Do they sell clones in Massachusetts?
I
Yeah,
believe so. I believe they do.
in Oregon too?
If not, you can go to Maine.
Wow.
They definitely sell them in Oregon.
Wow.
My
How many
grandfather
cloves?
from
In Oregon, we can have, we sell clones. We actually sleep in fields of pot.
that sounds
It's
fun.
really, really nice in Oregon. You know, I sit here and I listen to you guys and I'm like, oh, the farther east you get, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And, you know, over here, Oregon, Washington, and California and Colorado, we've got enough weed to save the world.
You guys definitely do out west. I love out west.
Yeah, send some
Do you
our
guys
way.
ever come out here?
No, I go to Maine.
Used to go to Cali a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
I like the Rose Garden in Portland,
Yeah.
Portland, Maine, or Portland, Oregon?
Portland, Oregon. My grandfather's from there.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, I've rode bikes through the Rose Garden before. And Voodoo Donuts are good.
So, can you, what is your name? Michael. So, tell us a little bit about your state and what you do there.
Basically I host a show. Are you talking to me? Yeah, I think I'm the only
Yes.
Michael. Yes.
I want to hear about the awards show you had the other day. That was amazing.
Yes, we had a state senator come down, Michael Moore, who used to be. Yeah, it's funny because I didn't realize I've been around as long to I should have known, but like he apparently was one of these guys who wanted to recriminalize, not recriminalize, but what gave us a hard time when we were legalizing. And now he's speaking at our event. We gave him an award, and he's talking about the workers, protecting the workers in cannabis, and even fixing some of the issues that have been going on with the Cannabis Control Commissioner in terms of licensing too. Just how long it takes and the way the investigations are run. There's been a lot of issues in Massachusetts. The slow rollout, big cannabis ran everything, and now there's a lot of competition, but it looks like things are starting to shake out and people are going to go out of business, a lot of people. So there's a great opportunity. And Lorna McMurray is the worker that passed away at True Leaf in Holyoke, Massachusetts. While she was working, she collapsed twice at work, taken out by ambulance, having breathing issues at work. Never had breathing issues until she started working the cultivation at True Leaf, Holyoke. And this is something that we have for years been talking for 5 years. We go back 5 years from the moment that we found out that Lorna had passed away, which is really like months after she had passed away. No one had known about it. We've discovered it. We reported on it. But for 5 years before that, we had a bunch of workers come on, big cannabis workers, cultivation workers, and they were telling us that someone was going to die, and that they were sticking up paper towels up their noses, and that there's not enough ventilation, and that when new workers come in, they tell them to get on antihistamines, and they're getting rashes on their arms. And this isn't just one place, it's over and over and over. And we've documented it over the last 5 years, and no one besides Dig Boston ever printed anything on it or did anything with it. And us, the Young Jerks and Dig Boston. And then when Lorna passed away, we reported on it, and it just went viral. It like everybody picked it up from High Times. I think High Times wrote 2 articles. Leafly wrote like 4 articles. They did a whole series on it. Everybody, I mean, just even like, financial magazines and like Fortune and whoever, everybody did a story on this thing. Boston Globe. It was like, I've never been called so many times in my life, both from workers and reporters. Every day my girlfriend's like, are you on the phone again? Like every single day and night for like months. I've never had a story like this. So it went totally viral this month again, and this has been going on since when? October. So it's from October until now, till May. And even this week, we were on the cover of the Nation magazine, the story about Lorna McMurray again. We just had this award show. I know that's what Lefty wanted to hear about, but there's so much going on. We had Massachusetts Council of Occupational Safety and Health at this event, which is the the local group, but they also have a National Council of Occupational Safety. They're getting hip to this cannabis cultivation issue, and they're working with us. We had members of MassCan there. We had River Run Gardens. We had two dispensary groups. One is a micro grow, and the other is a retail social equity company. So we had and we had a bunch of workers there. You know, we let in all the workers for free. We did end up raising a little bit of money, and we've been giving out the money to workers who got laid off. I sent money to a True Leaf worker in Florida today, just $20, that actually works at True Leaf right now. I guess they're having some issues. True Leaf made some promises with, you know, how easy it would be to get to work, and it's not that easy. So we sent them $20. We sent a mother $75, a True Leaf worker in Florida that got laid off. We sent another guy who came on the show 5 years ago and got laid off during a union fight at New England Treatment Access. Also, they had mold. They were the first ones to talk about it on the show. He got fired, so we sent him $100. I'm sure there's a few others. We've been sending out money. It's a good feeling. I wish it was a lot more, but that was the idea of this event. Is to, like, everyone in the industry does all these cannabis events in Massachusetts. They all, you know, they're all the time, and there's never anything for the workers. So we decided we're going to honor the workers. And the first speaker that came up and the first award that we gave out that night was to Lorna McMurray's mother, Laura Bruneau. And she came up and spoke, and she thanked us for the event and everything that we've been doing. And it was great to see her speak at the event. And then Danny Carson came up. We gave them an award. Danny Carson is a True Leaf worker that was a co-worker of Lorna McMurray. Danny actually helped hire Lorna for the job, used to give Lorna a ride to work. And Danny was the first one to really come out and talk as an employee about what happened at True Leaf with Lorna. And just this week, I think we're going to have another whistleblower. The breaking news is going to be like another one from True Leaf Holyoke coming out. So it just keeps coming, you know, like this story. And it's really about the work conditions. We've seen the industry is not doing well, and the expenses, whether it's the taxes, whether it's the real estate, everything is so high, and everything has been leveraged up because we're putting it on the stock market, and they're pretending they're huge growth companies, and the workers have come last, and especially the work in, you know, health and safety, but even at the retail dispensaries. Like I've been hearing stories, especially from young women at these dispensaries, horror stories. You know, things like mold on the walls is one thing. They're even breathing in the mold in retail dispensaries, which I thought was bizarro because we don't see that in Massachusetts. They're clean places. But in other states, you know, crazy stuff. But the big thing in retail dispensaries we're finding is like the sexual harassment, both from the management and the actual customers. And especially places like True Leaf in Florida that don't have security. They don't treat their customers well. And the customers have gotten violent. There's been, you know, all kinds of issues. And even with the delivery, you know, we uncovered a shooting that True Leaf workers were shot at while they were picking up the product. So there's a lot of security, harassment, violence that you wouldn't expect, but it's there. So there's also that. But the big issue that we've been covering is the health and safety, the breathing issues, and the rashes and the sickness that people get from working in rooms that are, I guess, big as the room I'm in right now, with 30 people in it, and you have keef and you have dust and you have all this stuff circulating with no air coming in and no masks and no thought of the workers' health, you know, and they're told to stick up paper towels up their noses, trim rooms where you have trim tables and trim chairs and not a chair in the place that's not broken. Like, if you're a trimmer, shouldn't you have a chair and a table that's not broken? If you're an employee, shouldn't you know how to get out of a building if there's going to be a fire? Like, these are just basic things that happen. And employees have come on the show and they've said, we had more fires than we actually had fire drills. Like, you know, these are just basic things that are getting ignored in the industry. And so you can imagine, and when the employees speak up, they get fired. You know, when they bring up any kind of pushback, and especially now with the layoffs. So that's kind of what we've been focusing on. Obviously, with that too, I'm also a big advocate for the medical patients. I'm a medical patient. I hurt my back. I had cancer at a young age. So my big thing also is to, how do we increase access? How do we lower the prices? All that stuff. And one of the things I've been talking a lot about is going to Maine. Massachusetts sucks, but if you have a medical card, you go to Maine and you get the best products. And I say, why is it so good up there? It is because they let everyone open. They did the opposite of everyone else on the East Coast. In Massachusetts, we let the big guys open first. And now 5, 6, 7 years later, we're starting to let the little guys open. In Maine, they licensed everyone who was small at first. And in the beginning, they couldn't even have a store. At first, it was just delivery or friends, caregivers. That was the first model. And then they started allowing the caregivers to actually open up shops and have delivery services and get additional licenses. And then later on, they let the Curaleafs and the big cannabis in. And that's really the model I want to see in Massachusetts. I want to see and everywhere in the East Coast. I want to see it get opened up. And if you look at Maine, I've talked to some of the applicants. Massachusetts, I've had tons of applicants on. So many of my friends are in social equity programs and they're never going to get to open. They've spent their whole life savings, 5 years, renting out space, and now they're at the town level and the town's not letting them open due to zoning or doing all kinds of weird issues that happen. Usually they pick the largest operators, the towns do. They go to the highest bidder. So there's lots of problems in the town area for licensing. In Maine, so people in Massachusetts have been waiting 3 to 5 years on average to open from beginning to end. In Maine, it's 30 days, 6 months. Sometimes they say you can even do it weeks, depending on what, smaller licenses you go for. But we're talking like 6 months or less, and it's licensed, it's regulated. This is Maine medical. And I think that we should, whether it's adult use or medical, we should all start looking at programs like that. Like, I don't know what Oregon's doing in Seattle and Colorado, but I have a feeling they're doing a lot better what we're doing in the East Coast, because this is taking too long, too much money. And who gets screwed? It's the patients and the workers. And if we're going to have social equity, we're going to talk about social equity. Well, it has to start with the patients and the workers. Like, where's the free medicine? Like, I gave away an ounce at my event the other night. Like, I'm the one hooking up the workers with $50 checks and $75 checks. I'm a dog walker. Like I'm not Curaleaf. I'm not True Leaf. They should be hooking up patients and workers every day. They should be paying a really good wage. And, some of our partners that I did mention too was obviously UFCW, the union labor movement. Teamsters now on the movement too. They've been doing a lot of stuff in Illinois. So, that's what we're about, is the workers, consumers, patients. And I think that the three of us can, and especially with the labor movement, we can all come together and we can get shit done now, because the next 2 years, shit's going to hell. Like Curaleaf and True Leaf and some of these companies are going out of business. Like, there's no big company that's going to come in and rescue them and buy them out. That's what they thought. They thought they were going to get the big paycheck at the end. Safe banking's not happening. Legalization is still a decade away. Like, no matter what they say, it's not happening. It's just not going to happen. So this is going to be like this for a while. And I think that over the next year or two, this is going to be like out of, how they always say, out of order, out of chaos, chaos out of order. This is the moment. There's going to be a lot of chaos in the markets, in cannabis, when the politicians now, who weren't interested in what we're talking about, now they're all interested. Now they're realizing jobs are being lost. Now they're looking at tax revenue going down. Prices of cannabis are going down. So once jobs are lost, that's the time they're going to want to fix this. So we have to have solutions, is my thing. Sorry to go. I ranted, didn't I? I went on a spiel.
I'm amazed that the little guys opened up first in your state. Honeybee, did the little guys open up first in Oregon too, or was it the big?
What?
The little guys opened up first in Massachusetts, in Maine. Is that what happened in Oregon?
I can't hear you very well. Did what happen?
And Maine, like when they licensed in the model, is they license all these small caregivers for years first, before they let big dispensaries in. And in Massachusetts, they did the opposite. They licensed the big dispensaries first. And now they're starting to like ease some restrictions on caregivers. They're starting to let the smaller guys open 5, 6 years later. So the lefty was asking in Oregon, do you know if they started smaller first, or did they license everyone at one first, or did
No,
they?
they did start smaller at first. I don't know a lot about it, but we'd have to get Paul on here to confirm all that. He's my my knowledge person of Oregon.
How many
Um,
growers, do you know how many growers there are in Oregon, would you guess?
I don't.
Do you think there's more than
I am
hundreds?
I don't even know. Today I am filling in for Lefty and I'm unprepared with all.
No. You're never unprepared. I'm just asking questions that, you don't have the expertise.
Yeah, I don't
on.
know those ones.
If someone asks me how to grow a plant and flush it, I don't know anything about that shit either. So
Yeah,
there's
I
no,
don't know that.
we all of us, I don't
But
know how to fix
I
my
know that
car either.
Paul knows those things.
Yeah.
Paul Stanford knows all those things, and he couldn't make it today, but he has a TV show that I help with him on. It's called Cannabis Common Sense TV show, and his name is Paul Stanford, and
Oh, I
he's
know
been
Paul.
doing
He's been
that.
around for decades.
Yes, so you know about him, right?
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
so I run his camera, and he is interviewing someone today. So our calendar, our times were not going to work today. Usually it's on Fridays.
You're really
but
cute.
Today it's on Fridays, or today it was on Thursday. So we did one last week at the studio, and it was about veterans. So that was really cool. And it was also about how we had 2 guests that are going to be the first 2 people to open up a psilocybin store up in Oregon. So that was exciting. That was fun to.
Is that
hear
happening
what
now?
they had
Is
to do.
that's actually happening there? People have stores?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're the first 2 that took the classes so they can open the store.
Wow.
So it's
Wow.
on its way here in Oregon.
Mike Kessler just joined us a few minutes ago. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. Where you calling from?
North Carolina, Holden Beach.
Oh, you don't have anything in North Carolina. Where'd you get that joint from in North Carolina?
Oh, got my ways.
Dixie Mafia.
We need
Nice
to
shirt
get-
there too.
We need to get it legal here.
Yes, and we can all help you do that.
We need to have a
That's what-
normal here, and I would love to run it.
A what?
Normal
office.
chapter.
Normal, yes. In your state, your Republicans are for it, your Democrats are against it. Is that correct?
I think so.
Bizarre.
That is
So tell
bizarre.
us a little bit about you, Mike.
I got 90% third-degree burns. I broke my back and pelvis in the Army. I joined the Army when I was 18. A year after I got out of the Army, I was riding my Harley, and an illegal alien ran a stop sign in front of me with no green card, and I got 90% third-degree burns over it. And I've been living on 900 a month since I was 22. And it's
Oh,
been
wow.
rough. And the heat really gets to me. I got no pores, 90% of my body. I'm doing all right though. I pulled through, I got full motion, I built myself all back up. And if it wasn't for marijuana, I don't know what I would have done. I probably wouldn't have made it.
Right?
Sure, they gave you a
It
bucket
has
drug.
really, yeah, I hear you on that one.
Yep.
I gave
Oh,
up
yeah.
pain pills. I had been taking pain
job.
pills for over 30 years, like like almost
Yay.
30 years. And
Yes.
I gave it all up. And, I gotta have this though.
Yep. Good job. That is great.
Yeah.
We need more stories like that. We need more people to tell us their story. And, I am 15 months sober from alcohol, and this is helping me.
Yeah. I'm going to a hippie fest tomorrow for the weekend.
Oh,
In Salisbury, North Carolina. They got a hippie fest. And I've never been to a festival here. I've been here 13 years. And I really miss festivals. There's
right.
really nothing going on here when it comes to that. And I would love to put one on here. I mean, this place needs to come around.
And you're from where in North Carolina?
I'm right on the beach. I'm a mile from the beach.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
That hippie fest. I know Normal Bean who performed at that one last year, and he has the hippie museum down here in Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah, it's in
he-
Salisbury, New York.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
I mean, North Carolina, not New York. I came
Carolina.
here from New York.
How long
and,
is that hippie fest going on?
It's going Saturday and Sunday. There's no camping though.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to
Wow.
find somewhere to go for a night.
Mhm. And I bet all the hotels are all filled up, but
I bet. Yeah, I'm gonna
I
bring a
bet you're
tent.
just gonna have to sleep in your car or something.
I'm gonna bring a tent. And I'm
Oh,
a
there you go.
veteran, so I get to stay at the state park. Or there's a lake nearby there.
That's when, those trucks that have those beds that go on top, that's
Yeah.
when those come in handy. Those are like the new future. Those are pretty cool. I want to get one for my truck.
I was thinking about riding my Harley actually down there.
Oh, there
I
you
don't
go.
know.
You'll get
It's a
faster with
3
a Harley because you can just go right down the middle.
Yeah, it's a 3-hour ride though. It's a long ride. I'm gonna
I
be
think it'll
60
be
years
worth it.
old in October.
Oh, wow. I'll be 53 this year.
Wow.
It's tough
You're
driving when you're disabled. Yeah, I just drove 3 hours to a NASCAR race in Dover, Delaware, and it was worth it, but it's a long ride.
Yeah.
I have a hard time
But
driving.
the hippie fest, yeah, that's gonna be well worth it.
I want to see that they're having a VW car show. They're having a hippie bus car show with all VWs. I want to see that.
Uh-huh.
That sounds
Oh,
cool.
that's so cool. So you guys are gonna all join us for the 7/10 Cannabis Patient Awareness Day, correct?
Planning on it.
And so this is what we're doing here is we are having these podcasts and we're having as many people join us as we can get because we're practicing for the big event, and we have to practice on taking turns and helping each other to make this successful. And like, if you see that maybe Lefty is lagging or I'm lagging and you can help the podcast, where you see fit, this is where and why we're here today.
I think what we're going to do is give everybody 10 minutes. Since we're going to have about 30 states, I think everybody should get 10 minutes to talk about their state. And I'm not sure how to do it, but I think 10 minutes would be a good start because that gives us like a 5-hour podcast.
How is that for you guys? Are you guys able to do 10 minutes or is it going to be more 5 minutes?
Yeah, is this going to work?
Mm-hmm. I'll at
Good.
least give 5.
Yeah, you just tell me when to stop.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
I'm just
so,
wondering
Michael?
what time? Like
Mi-
what time? 'Cause that's
Michael,
always
we're gonna turn to you then, because if you can talk like that, if someone can't talk so much, maybe, we're like, hey, Michael, what else you got to say?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's good to know
I'll
because,
talk about Maine.
Yeah, you
yeah,
can talk about Maine also. That's right. Yeah.
Any patient, in New Jersey, they can drive up to Maine
How-
too. They have
How
a
I
card.
grew up,
Oh, they do.
I,
They do.
I helped get marijuana legal in New Jersey. I testified in Congress. Yeah, I pushed some MS patients up on stage.
oh, wow. When did you do that? What years was that? Where
Oh, that
where
was like,
and what years?
2010.
that was like 15 years ago.
Yeah, 2010, I think.
Yeah.
2010? Did you know Lefty then?
Normal gave us, we had a motel room 2 blocks from the White House, and they let us smoke on the 4th floor of the motel. You should have smelt the place. It was incredible. Normal came from Washington DC and gave us 2 ounces of weed to smoke with all the MS patients.
Oh,
That was pretty
wow.
cool.
Right on.
You think they smelled it at the White
That's
House?
cool.
They
Yeah.
got some downstream at the
I
White House?
rolled like 50 joints. I passed them all out to all the MS patients.
Mhm.
Yeah, those were good times. I spent 14 years of my life trying to get it legal with Jim Miller. I was his campaign manager when he ran for state senator.
Oh,
Yeah. So you saw him pushing Cheryl around in the gurney.
Saw
oh,
him.
really?
I had to bring him a pair of
Oh.
shoes in my car because his soles of his shoes came off with the duct tape.
Oh, wow.
I had to
Oh,
bring him a new
wow.
pair of shoes when he was doing that walk. Oh, yeah. No money raised, no money spent. I think he came in like 3rd place or something.
Yeah, Jim is amazing. Him and Cheryl actually got me involved in medical cannabis back in the
Me
day.
too. He's the one that got me involved with it.
Yeah, seeing how it helped Cheryl really changed my outlook on it, because I just thought it gave you the munchies until I saw
Me too.
Cheryl, and I was
Me
like,
too.
wow.
Yep.
And she was a
And
hell of
this
an advocate.
lady is in
She she went out
I'm
there and
real-
got arrested.
I'm real close friends with Jim Miller.
I did invite him to be on the show. He must be busy. He was on last week, wasn't he?
Yeah, he jumps on sometimes.
Yeah, come
He's
on.
great.
Yeah. He's awesome.
Well,
He is.
that's
He's
cool.
he's a man.
How
That
now
guy's
I
a man
can
on a mission,
connect you.
right?
That's cool.
Oh, big time. Big time. Man on a mission.
I like your background. So I gotta change my.
I
you
was
know
just
what?
trying them out. I
had-
don't know. It's kind of interesting.
I had to go get a hotspot because I wanted to smoke weed while I was on the call. And now I'm out in the shed, but then they decided to mow the lawn over there. I'm like, really? Okay, that's not me. Oh, I did buy the app. Bought the app, bought the hotspot. So we'll see. And I gave my granddaughter my green screen. So, we're winging it today. This is
I
how
got a question for you guys.
never let it go down, and you do it no matter what. And it doesn't matter if you're in the shed clear
I
across
feel
in
the same way.
Oregon,
Yeah.
the
That's
show
me.
must go on.
I'm in the hottest spot in the building today. My girlfriend's in the studio, so I have my mics and it's hot. I'm hot. Usually I'm in the basement, nice and cool.
Oh my. Yeah, I'm in the little shed and I keep on having to open the window, shut the door because they were mowing the lawn and I almost wanted to cry.
Like, what was your question?
They just legalized THC-A flower here. What is that?
that Delta 8,
apparently.
Delta 24?
Here,
Oh my.
Is that actually legal though? That's a smoke shop. Yeah.
that's legal at the smoke shop.
It's kind of borderline though. They could still be busted, but everyone's selling that stuff now.
Can you
And
see it?
if it flies under the hemp banner. They're basically saying it's hemp flower, and then they do something to. I don't
Yeah.
even know. I don't know how it's legal. I don't know. I don't get it, but
So that's legal, huh?
somewhat.
I don't
Like
like how it makes you, I don't like how, I've tried smoking it. I don't
legalities.
like how it makes you
Yeah.
feel.
Legality on that is
It-
defined by
it-
enforcement. Are they going to enforce it? It
It
seems like
made
some
my,
places
it
do.
made like tunnel vision on me. It made like trails in my eyes. It was weird vision after I smoked it.
I'd be careful with that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
I felt weird. First time
Yeah.
doing it yesterday.
How much was that bag?
It was expensive. It was $12 a gram. The buds look incredible. Look, I got a bud here. Hold on. I'm not even smoking it. I mean, let's see here.
Connected. Oh, that's nice.
Look at that. Doesn't that look incredible?
That looks great.
Nice.
Yeah, that looks really good.
God,
Smells
it's
good.
called Chem Dog. Yeah.
interesting.
And
That
you
looks
get
good.
that anywhere? You get that like at a gas station?
Right down the road here at where the beach is by the bridge. There's a smoke shop. They sell it right there.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
They do that in New Jersey, but it's usually Delta 10, Delta 8.
Yeah. This is Delta 8 or 10. I didn't read the whole thing. My daughter read it. She looked into it and said it was Delta 8, Delta 9 or something. 8 and 9.
Yeah, they got to make a law about that one, and then they'll switch
How
to
could
Delta
they call
10.
it THC though?
Yeah, they've done that in
They're
New Jersey. It's a workaround.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're telling people it's real.
it could be. You don't, that's the thing. You don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah, what is that?
It could, sometimes it actually is THC. Like you don't know. You really don't know. Sometimes it's just
smoked it.
CBD flower.
It
Yeah,
was like chemicals
yeah.
in it. Made
I'd
me
be
feel
worried
weird.
about that. I'd be nervous about that stuff, honestly.
I'm not smoking it no more. I
Unless
smoked
you
about
know.
a half a joint. That's it. I'm sitting here just looking at this. I don't even want to smoke it.
Yeah,
Looks
Well,
incredible.
it's probably
Yeah.
heard bad chemicals, so I don't know.
It looks so good. That's why I bought it.
of course.
Because it's fake.
Maybe
So,
two
um,
bucks for $50.
so I have my permit all ready to go for Salem, Oregon, and I'm gonna have a rally there with Paul. And so what we're encouraging each state to do is go to their state capital. And I know it's not an easy thing, but in the big grand scheme of our goal, we are trying to create a national holiday for 7/10. And it's going to be Cannabis Patient Awareness Day. And in order to do that, we're going to have each state celebrate this holiday. And in order to do that, we're going to need to go to the state capitol to, we're going to do it for many different reasons. We're going to try to create a state holiday. We're going to do rallies. So we're going to be around our state legislators, and we're going to teach you how to write letters to your legislator. We're going to teach you how to contact them, where to go, if you need help with what to research to find for your state were willing to do that. Jim Miller is going to help actually be in charge of that part of Cannabis Patient Awareness Day. That's one of the things that we're going to provide on our website. And so have you guys been to our website? It's cannabispatientawarenessday.com. So I encourage you guys all to go visit that and share it, and, you know, send the web developer a message, or actually it's just me and Lefty. I was trying to be professional, but anyways.
We want to take it back to the patients, because it's becoming a corporate holiday, 7/10, and it's in New Jersey. They built this industry on the backs of patients, and now we've been forgotten about. And we don't want people to get forgotten about. So that's why we're going to do 7/10 for the patients.
Cannabis Patient Awareness
Day.com. Cannabispatientawarenessday.com. And we already have a lot of good information on there. And we have been working to, you know, keep that updated between all the things that Lefty and I do. We're behind right now. So, but we do have, you know, a good start on it. You know, one day we're going to be able to say, okay, well, we can afford a web developer, and then we're going to have that done like that. So, but as for now, Lefty and I, we devote a lot of time into this project. You may not always see me on the screen because I'm behind the screen, keeping track of the notes, keeping it organized, creating Excel spreadsheets, and working on the website, gathering pictures, working on sponsors, working on our nonprofit to get nonprofit donations and stuff like that. So you won't see me, but please add me because I am behind the scenes, and I'm very important to make this successful.
We'd like to get UFCW involved in your states, because we have UFCW here in Jersey, and they're very supportive of patients' rights. As a matter of fact, Hugh Giordano is writing us a letter on UFCW letterhead supporting home grow to Senator Scutari to put pressure on him. You know, maybe you can do that in your state with the things that you need to have the UFCW put pressure on these politicians. You know, maybe we could do this nationally with them, because they're a great group.
Yes, you know, when I called Oregon's UCFW, what is it? I just messed
You have UFCW there, right?
Reading a message, sorry.
UFCW is in
Someone
Oregon.
wants to join the call. So when I called about Oregon, they were like, oh, they were hush hush and not talking about it. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? You don't know anything about any cannabis division or whatever. I'm like, I'm Googling you right now, and you guys just did something, and then come to find out that there was some controversy going on, so they had to have that. They couldn't just talk to me. It was funny, but I should go back now and see what's up. You know, we could get Hugh on here and see what he could do in Oregon again. So work in progress. It goes. It's a lot of work. It's
I just asked you because Hugh was out of Vegas. He was out in Vegas, and
see, he's so busy.
He's very busy.
He is so busy, and he does know about Oregon. It's just we haven't had him on here to talk about that yet. But he's already knows everything about Oregon, I'm sure, or at least some briefings because I'm out here. But
I'm trying
what else? So we're all just working on getting here. So if 10 minutes, you guys think you guys could do 10 minutes?
Yeah, we just need 10 minutes out of each of you. If we can get 10 minutes, that'd be amazing. but I'm sure
Okay.
there'll be times where we need more because there's a lot of stuff going on in the country, especially in Massachusetts.
Right. And then, so if you guys, follow us and stuff, then we can all, oh, and we need your logos. So if you guys have any kind of logos that you want us to advertise for you, so we can put it on that poster. Have you guys seen that big poster? It's on the Facebook event. Send us. Do we have a spot where we're gonna send that, Lefty?
Yeah. I wanted to ask Larry. Larry, you still on? What's going on in Maryland with your laws down there? Do you have any politicians that are helpful? And is the UFCW helpful in Maryland?
Not sure if they're in Maryland. We do have like the governor did try to sign into rec recently, and they're still trying to make the rules and everything. But they are like trying to have cannabis under alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. So it's gonna be like alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and marijuana now in the state of Maryland. And they're gonna like oversee our recreational program. And it's kind of weird that they're bringing the ATF in to do that. But I think mostly just like we have a lot of problems. Like the whole medical program since the beginning had just been like corrupt, and a lot of like license or bumped, and it's not. There's been no equality in the state, and it's just been like, who knows who and who can get a license, and it's just been so corrupt in the beginning.
Well, Larry, you can let them know that in New Jersey, the police are allowed to get stoned off duty. So you could start with that. Lead with that one. Let them bite on that for a while. Because yeah, cops can smoke weed in New Jersey, and they don't like it. The politicians don't like it, but there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that is.
I can't believe it. Yeah, it's because it goes totally against federal law. Because you can't have a gun and have drugs, any kind of drugs. But in New Jersey, you can.
I heard DC cops also smoke cannabis and get away with pissing positive and being on the force.
Really?
Yeah, I used to live in DC and do a lot over there. I was actually a part of the gray market at one point, and then I stepped into the legal market fully. And it's just interesting, like how bad it's just been since, I don't know. It's just very interesting though. We used to do a lot of protests with DCMJ.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that about DC police. I'll have to look into that. See, that's why I love these calls, because you hear things that like, wait, say that again. And because every state's different and vastly different, which is amazing. Like North Carolina, what a difference between you and Oregon. Oh my God. Like night and day. Yeah, it's crazy. How is that possible? How is that doesn't that violate the 14th Amendment? I mean, geez. I mean, we're talking about sick
what I
people.
said.
Well,
Let's not talk about Oregon right now.
We're just
I'm
talking.
busy.
We're talking about sick and dying people that these politicians are like using us as political footballs. I don't like it.
Don't we have something in Congress now, North Carolina? Getting approved?
I'll have to look that up.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to
I
look that
don't know.
up.
I
I used
tried
to be
looking it up.
terrified of North Carolina, but now I like love it because Virginia's legal. That North Carolina's still sketchy. I have family down there.
Virginia, you can grow weed.
Yeah, I love that Virginia. Now you can drive through Virginia and not be scared to like drive through that state with pot. Back in the day, you used to be terrified. Go to jail for it.
But now it's North Carolina and South Carolina and Georgia. You don't want to go through those states.
I think South Carolina is going to legalize it first, and then
Really?
North Carolina is going to follow. I hope.
I got caught with cannabis in 2012 in my friend's car, and my mugshot was in my McDonald's work uniform.
Oh,
It was very classic.
oh,
It only had a 0.5 on me. In Maryland, Montgomery County took me to jail. It was an interesting time.
working class gets screwed again. That's the title to that picture. Working class fucked over again.
Mm.
Literally, in your work uniform, taking a bunch job. Like you're not like some bum on the street. You're actually working for a living, trying to do something, and they're going to throw you. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry.
I got out in the morning, but it was interesting. Just like everyone was like, "What'd you do at work?" And I was like, "Oh, I just got caught with some weed." Everyone just laughing at me. So funny.
I just saw a guy nodding out on heroin at a fast food place. It was a Taco Bell in Michigan, and it went viral. And the guy was literally like banging his head against the microwave. He was so out of it on these drugs that he's on. Weed doesn't do that to you, though.
No.
Oh no, it does not.
So no, we're talking about cannabis, but I do live in Baltimore, and the cop shot a 17-year-old unarmed kid 5 times in the back today while he was running from them because he was scared. So
I
like,
didn't hear about that. Wow. They've been
there's a lot
sweeping,
of,
they've been sweeping them under the rug lately, these shootings.
there's been a lot of drug problems here in Baltimore, and I think cannabis like is gonna help people stop doing all these hardcore drugs once it becomes rec in Maryland. But they need more programs where like they're trying to get people off these hardcore drugs, and like maybe they could use cannabis as a way to like treat people to get them off hardcore drugs also. And we need more like programs like that. I feel like in every state, to be honest.
I'm still working on getting Jim on. He might be coming on.
Did you say who's coming on?
Jim Miller's.
Well, we have how many states now, Lefty? You know, last time I counted, we had 21 states. And who was so far? Here's what I have, and I know that this is not an updated list, so let me put on my eyeballs. We have Alaska, Colorado, Delaware, Florida, Idaho, Illinois, Kansas, Kentucky, Maine, Maryland, Nebraska, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Tennessee, Texas, Vermont, and Virginia.
That's pretty good.
Those are our tentative
That's pretty amazing.
list of people that want to help us in those states. You know, they're helping us in, you know, one way or another. We have some kind of contact in that state, and going bigger and bigger. I have the full list. I'm missing, Lefty. You know, but you know, it's just growing, and I'm just really excited about this. And we're also we also talked about having a cannabis bill of rights and working together so we could all, you know, come, you know, focus on what works and not worry about what doesn't work, because like in Oregon, we can't smoke anywhere like you can in New Jersey. We have to smoke indoors. What about your state, Mike?
My state?
Where can you smoke?
Oh,
You can't smoke.
You can smoke outside anywhere, and you can't smoke in restaurants or in buildings.
Well, you can't
Lefty,
smoke weed anywhere.
what does your law actually say?
They don't have one. North Carolina doesn't have one. Massachusetts has one.
No, I don't think we have one.
North Carolina, you can smoke that Delta 8 wherever you want, though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, Delta 8 you can smoke in a hospital, no problem.
And
People-
where's
people look at it as soon as they smell it, they look funny at you. It's not cool around here at all.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's so this, this is really fun for me, and I wish that I actually had my whole podcast set up, because my sound is not very good, but at least I have really good hotspot. Has my connection been okay?
Yeah, you're
Because I-
fine. I'm actually at home too. This is I'm actually not in my studio either. I'm at my home and I'm a mess. I'm actually sick. So I'm sitting here sweating, just patting my head. So this is me.
Okay.
So you know, I'm here. I'm just a mess.
Okay. Look at, here's my little hotspot. I'm like really professional right now. This is like really a big thing for me to get this hotspot, because this prepared me. Today's show, Lefty asked me to host the show, and I also take care of my mom. So I was taking care of her and I couldn't get my hotspot. But so I'm just doing the best I can. I do know a lot of things about a lot of different
This is
things.
fine.
But
This is
I'm excited for this, because it's going to be great for when I go to Salem at the state capitol. So it's just, my words of the year are practicing practice. So by practicing, actually hosting, I got this today, and it's going to be so beneficial, because you said that I'm not cutting out like I normally would have. So that's really cool.
You're good.
And-
You
and,
need a green screen. You need a green screen like Mike Crawford, so you can be on the beach.
Yeah, I gave it to Brooklyn. So my green screen is at my granddaughter's house. That's why we're in the shed. And because I wanted to be able to smoke and not have to, I didn't know where to smoke and have good reception. And then when I'm done, I'm in this little cute little shed outside the back of my house.
That's cool. It works.
So the next time I'll have a green screen and then I'll set that up. Oh, but I also wanted to show everybody else what I've been working on is look at this little, look at this little bongholio.
Mongolia. That's great. It's so cute. And it works. It works.
I've been making things out of clay, so
Can you smoke them?
not these ones. These are just for decoration, but I've also been making, I'm going to start selling little items, weed items. And my daughter is making crochet bongs and
That's cute.
weed leaves, and I made this little joint. Look at that. So, oh, I'm gonna make these earrings. This is gonna be really cool. I'm gonna make little bud earrings for girls. Go like this. It's gonna be my honeybee line. Anyway, that's cool. But so, you know, that's the kind of fun stuff. You know what? Tony was supposed to be online, and he was going to talk about all kinds of cool stuff that he's doing. And he is the one who made our logo, and he made our poster, and we're going to have ones for like all different years and different things. So, oh, what did I do? So Lefty,
I want to thank cmmmnj.org. I want to thank Cannabis, UFCW, Local 152, Jackson Storm, Smoking Monkey, Arlo Glass, Oprah Machine.com, and Pure Puff Lifestyle Shop, and sativacross.org. We always end the show with a list. It's a list of all our friends who have passed on, and it starts off with Cheryl Miller. We talked about her before, and she's the one who got me involved in this whole thing, because back when I was 18 years old, I wanted pot to be legal because I wanted to smoke weed, and I thought the government lied to me, and I thought the government lied to me about it being as bad as heroin, because it's not, and I knew they lied to me. So I was like, okay, I want weed to be legal for that reason. And then I met Cheryl Miller, and I was just like amazed that it actually was medical uses for it. And I originally thought, yeah, it gave you the munchies, and that's why it helped cancer patients, because it made you hungry. But it was a lot more than that. I learned about the endocannabinoid system and how these things help the endocannabinoid system and help keep it healthy. I didn't know any of this stuff. And these are things that I learned along the way from talking to other patients, talking to other people, and just amazing journey that I've been on with this plant myself, and where I've landed after starting off from one place, landing in another. I never thought I'd be a patient advocate, but I am. And it's very rewarding, because you're helping people. It's very sad because we lose a lot of people.
That's funny. The same reason why you just said it, the same reason why I became an advocate myself. Everything with Cheryl Miller.
She blew my mind. I was like, wow, it really helps her. I mean, I literally saw here. I'll show you. She couldn't move her arms. Her arms were stiff, like rigid, like this. And when she would use cannabis, she was able to do this. She couldn't do this without cannabis. And Jim would exercise her. That's how he would exercise her. And Jim would also use cannabis himself when he would exercise her.
Should be okay.
Yeah, and so seeing that was life-changing, because I couldn't wrap my head around that. Like, it really was a medical thing that the government really lied. I mean, the government didn't just tell these little lies. It was the biggest lie ever. The government told us the biggest lie ever. And basically, it's a good barometer on a politician. If you can tell the truth about cannabis, you could pretty much tell the truth about a few other things. So politicians, it's a good barometer for politicians. But yeah, it blew my mind. So she's on the beginning of our list. Cheryl Miller starts our list off here. And
Hey, I want to show you something. Hold on.
she was just amazing. And she had progressive MS. So she really suffered at the end there. I mean, she really suffered.
mm-hmm.
And, but so Cheryl, Sabina Rose, Diane, Gracie, Cindy Mae, Marie, Jack, Joan, Randy, Polly, Bill, Chad, Jeremy, Colette, Matt, Troy, Russ, Roger, Jay, Ella, Hattie, Jackie, Anthony, Jake, Armando, Felicia, Lynn, Dan, Sean, Joyce, Lori, Frank, Brian, Flo, Carl, Thorne, Frank, Lorraine, Terry, Charlotte, Cher, Jay Bird, Michael Dillon, which is Honeybee's son, Marley, Colette, Brendan, Red, Rico, Lulu, Betty, and Jeff. And this is a very hurtful list to me, because these are my friends, these are my family, these are people I cared about, and they're not here anymore. And they were either using cannabis or they couldn't get their cannabis and needed cannabis for their illness. A lot of them are still waiting. So that's why we're here, because there's a lot of patients still waiting. There's patients in North Carolina that can't get weed. They can't even get that Delta 8. There's patients that can't even drive to that store and get that Delta 8. And maybe that might help them. It might even help them. We don't know. It might help them.
Did it help me?
It didn't help you though, right? So probably not. It's probably hurtful. It's if it's gas station weed, it's just as bad as gas station sushi. You don't want it.
It's just not the same. It's just
No,
weird.
no, I don't think I'd give a patient that stuff. I wouldn't even give it to him.
It made my eyes all weird. I was seeing like trails.
Mm,
Oh, wow.
no, not good.
That's not good.
But
Yeah,
I want to thank you guys for joining us today.
Yes, thank you,
Very
everyone,
good.
for bearing with me.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for hosting today, Honeybee.
You're welcome. You know, I was willing to do it no matter what. And, you know, the show must go on, and I was here to do my best.
You did. Thank you.
You're
Mike,
welcome.
thank you. Did you win your contest, Mike, by the way?
I came in second place.
You got second place. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I needed to be in first place.
Uh,
Yeah.
all right, next time.
The front page of the newspaper here on Easter.
So we end this podcast with a ode of remembrance. It was written 100 years ago during World War I, and it really has a lot to do with activism. It goes like this. They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. So
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Yay!
Mike, join us anytime, Mike. This is fun. Thanks, brother.
Thank you so much for bearing with me.